Prishtaya Bhutale Te Bhakti Vikasa Swami Tinamine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna, Prabhus and Matajis. So I welcome everyone for our weekly Bhagavad Gita discussion. So I was instructed by His Grace Patita Taran Jagannath Prabhu to conduct this weekly discussion on behalf of him. So yeah, we will continue from chapter 12, right? This is where we stopped, right, last week. So we have already completed chapter 11, the universal form, right? So now we are in I think chapter 12, verse number 5. Am I correct, Prabhus and Matajis? Is that correct? So let me share my screen. So in between, if there is any questions, any doubts, any clarification, any comments, you can write it down and you can let me know at the end of the session. Or if you are unable to hear me, in the middle of the discussion, you can stop me or even you can text me. Okay, so chapter 12 is entitled Devotional Service, right? Bhakti Yoga, right? So this is the title, and we can see we have went through. I assume we have all of you have attended the session where Prabhu discussed about from verse number 1 to verse number 4. So we just have a short recall. You see, the moment chapter 12 begin, Arjuna inquired. So it beginning with the inquiry where Arjuna is asking, Arjuna Uvacha, so which are considered to be more perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? So Arjuna is now putting forward a very important question. Hare Krishna, please mute your audio. Thank you. So we can see the first shloka. Arjuna is asking a question. Very important question, right? So he's asking, who is a better devotee? Who actually is asking here, who is considered to be more perfect? Not a better devotee, is not under the category of devotee yet. When we say devotee, that means according to Shastra, devotee means only applicable for Krishna, bhakti. When we say bhakti yoga, it is only exclusive for Krishna. So this is the definition given by Rupa Goswami. When we say bhakti, that means you are worshipping Krishna, not any other person, not any other demigods. This is the definition given by Rupa Goswami. So here Arjuna is asking, which are considered to be more perfect? Yes. So who are more perfect? The one who's engaging in devotional service. Okay, that means worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his personal form, right? As it is. Or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. So Arjuna is comparing with impersonal Brahman. What is the meaning impersonal Brahman? That means formless. Impersonal means he doesn't have a personality. No personality. Because in order to have a personality, you must have a form. So if it doesn't have a form, then what to speak about personality? So therefore, it is called impersonal, right? So when you say someone is very kind, someone is very nice, soft spoken, friendly, this is the quality, this is the personality characteristic. That means he is a person, he must have a nice form, you know. So when we say impersonal, he is formless, no quality, nirguna. This is what Shastra says about his impersonal form of Brahman, impersonal Brahman. So the unmanifested, right? So now Arjuna is asking you a very important question. எது எது சிறந்தது? Which is a superior worship? Which is more perfect? Right? So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their mind on my personal form and always engage in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered to me the most perfect. And Krishna is giving a very clear cut answer, very straightforward answer. Right? Bhagavan Vacha. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna is clearly telling those who are directly engaging in my worship, in my personal form, Satchit Ananda Vigraha, they are the best, the most perfect. So we can see this, right? So Krishna is immediately rejecting the worship of impersonal Brahman, right? So the next shloka, but those who are fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engage in all in the welfare of all, at last achieve me. So Krishna is also telling, in case the person never worship the Supreme Person of the Godhead, in case he is deviated and is worshipping some other aspect of the Supreme Lord, somehow he have to take birth after birth, and somehow he have to come at last uh, to the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to achieve him. At last they will achieve him, but it's a very long process. You might achieve, you might not achieve, you might get stuck in between. So it's a very risky process, it's a very troublesome process. So that is clearly explained in the next verse, right? What will happen when you don't take up the perfect pathway? So that is Krishna's explaining here in the verse number 5. So we will look into this today, right? So क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्ताशक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ताशक्तते चेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवप्यते देहवद्भिरवप्यते. So klesha means trouble. Klesha kleshamna trouble, miseries, problems. So according to Shastra, we know that there are three folds of miseries. Prabhupada always used in the purport threefold miseries, right? So what is this threefold misery? The three types of klesha: adhyatmika, adibaudiga, and adidaiviga. So there are three types of trouble all the conditioned soul, all of us will face in this material world. Right? Very nicely explained in Shastra. So if you take birth in this material world, doesn't matter whether you are in Bhuloka, Brahmaloka, or any loka, the moment you entered into this material world, you have to face these three types of kleshas. So, number one is adhyatmika klesha. And that means the trouble caused by the body and mind. That is number one. The trouble caused by your own body, self and mind. The next is adi bhaudika, the trouble and problems, miseries caused by other living entities. And the third is adidaivika, problems, troubles given to us by the high authorities, the demigods. Right? So perfectly explained right now. We will definitely will be facing some of these problems in our daily life, isn't it? Example, when we speak about the trouble caused by body and mind, adhyatmika, we are getting sick, correct? We are getting diseased, we are getting distressed, we are getting disturbed, correct or not? So no one is disturbing us. We ourselves are getting distracted, getting disturbed. So we can see right now the statistics of depression among youngsters, the statistics of mental illness among youngsters is on rise. Right? So the trouble is causing by own mind, own body. Hypertension, diabetes, coronary artery disease, right? Fatty liver, alcoholic fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver, colon cancer, right? So all these things are the trouble caused by our own mind and body. We cannot avoid that, right? So adhyatmika. So the next klesha trouble is adi bhaudika. Okay, we managed to overcome this trouble of the body and mind. Still, other people will come and give you trouble. இந்த தமிழில் சொல்லுவாங்களே, நான் நல்லா தான்ப்பா இருந்தேன், நான் சிவனேன்னு இருந்தேன், இவங்க தான் பிரச்சனை கொடுக்குறாங்க. அதுதான். ஸோ யூ மே டேக் கண்ட்ரோல் ஆஃப் யுவர் பாடி அண்ட் மைண்ட், பட் யூ cannot control of other living entities. You might be nicely driving, suddenly someone will come and hit you, accident. You might be just walking around, suddenly a dog will come and bite you, dog bite, you'll get rabies, right? You might be walking around, suddenly a snake will come, right? Snake will appear. You might be walking around nicely, suddenly a thief will come and rompa you lah. He'll come and snatch your money. He'll come and harass you, so attack you, right? So this is adi bhaudika. So we have exposed all this danger, accidents, problems, the miseries caused by other people. When we are doing our work nicely, suddenly these people will come and give us trouble. So we'll get disturbed also. So Shastra is telling very nicely, adhyatmika, adi bhaudika. Even if you can overcome this adhyatmika and adi bhaudika, adi daivika, how to overcome? Adi daivika means what? The trouble, miseries given by the demigods, higher authorities. Suddenly earthquake, what you can do? Suddenly tsunami, what you can do? Suddenly flood. Recently here in Kuching we have flood. What you can do? It's beyond your control. Suddenly flight cancelled, bad weather, what you can do? Right? So volcano eruption, natural disasters. So these things are there, like coronavirus, other living entities, trouble caused by other living entities, COVID. So this is called klesha, trouble. So that's the word klesha. So I'm just relating to the this threefold miseries. This is always explained by Prabhupada in the purports. So klesha means trouble. Okay. And then adhikataraha, very much. Adhikataraha, very much. Tesham, of them. Avyakta, to the unmanifested. Avyakta. Vyakta means manifest. Manifest means you can see, you can perceive. You can feel. Avyakta means unmanifest. You can perceive, you can see. Okay, you can reciprocate. This is meaning avyakta, unmanifested, to the unmanifested. Ashakta, attached. Ashakta means attached. Chetasam, of those whose minds, avyakta, towards the unmanifested. He certainly, gati, progress. Dukkam, with trouble. Dukkam. Dukkam means another. Dukkam means dukkha. The Malay word. Sukha dan dukkha. Sukha means happiness. Dukkha means sadness, misery. So it's actually coming from Sanskrit word dukkha, dukkam. And dukkha means misery, sad, problem, trouble. Right? Dehavadbihi, by the embodied. Deha means body. So dehavadbihi, by the embodied. Avapyate is achieved. So translation, for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal features of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So you see, Krishna is now establishing what is the consequences of worshipping the impersonal Brahman. So what is the consequences? Is using the word dukkam. Dukkam na another. That means dukkam means when you worship the impersonal features of the Supreme, you will face misery, trouble, no happiness. Krishna is saying this, and Krishna even is telling extra points that it's very difficult to understand and realize Him, to realize Krishna, God, by following this troublesome pathway. Especially for us, for the embodied soul. Very difficult. Right? So this is the translation. So let's look into the purport. It's a long purport. Excuse me. So let us see. Okay, I'll just read it, then we can go through together. The group of transcendentalists who follow the path of inconceivable, unmanifested, impersonal features of the Supreme Lord are called Jnana Yogis. And persons who are in full Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service to the Lord, are called Bhakti Yogis. Now, here the difference between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga is definitely expressed. The process of Jnana Yoga, although ultimately bring one to the same goal, is very troublesome. Whereas the path of Bhakti Yoga, the process of being in direct service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is easier and is natural for the embodied soul. The individual soul is embodied since time immemorial. It is very difficult for him to simply theoretically understand that he is not the body. Therefore, the Bhakti Yogi accepts the deity of Krishna as worshipable because there is some bodily conception fixed in the mind, which can thus be applied. Of course, worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his form within the temple is not idol worship. Not idol worship. There is evidence in the Vedic literature that worship may be saguna or nirguna, of the Supreme possessing or not possessing attributes. Worship of the deity in the temple is saguna worship, for the Lord is represented by the material qualities, but the form of the Lord, though represented by the material qualities such as stone, wood, or oil paint, is not actually material. That is the absolute nature of the Supreme Lord. Okay, maybe we can analyze this first paragraph first. So here we can see Prabhupada is explaining to us transcendentalists can be divided into the one who are following, engaging personalists and impersonalists. Basically, that is a two category, right? Personalists, impersonalists, right? So, what is this impersonalists? We have to understand. Currently, currently, when we say Hinduism, majority of the followers, they are on the understanding that God has no form. Only the Vaishnavas understand which is the perfect method to worship God, as explained by Krishna himself. Only the Vaishnava knows the secret. Otherwise, the majority of them, here it is explained, the Jnana yogis, the Ashtanga yogis, the Karma yogis. So, all these transcendentalists, they try to understand God, but they are using various methods as explained in the Shastra. So, they extract the Shastra, and this is what they can understand. When they study the Shastra, their conclusion is that God has no form. Right? This is the conclusion. And why they are coming to this conclusion? Because that's why they are following the school of Shankaracharya. So when we speak about impersonalism, then we must remember this impersonalism is propagated by Shankaracharya, right? Who is none other than Lord Shiva himself. He is the incarnation of Lord Shiva. So if you see in the Padma Purana, it is explained that Lord Krishna himself instructed Lord Shiva to take this incarnation of Adi Sankaracharya to give this deviating, confusing philosophy, which is impersonalism. Is it clear? So basically, this philosophy of Advaita, Dvaita means two, dua, Dvaita. Advaita means oneness. Everything is same. I and you, same. I and God, same. Everything is God. And ultimately, our ultimate goal is to become one with God, to become merged with God. So this is what they call to get merged to Brahma Jyoti. Right? So basically, this is a propaganda. Actually, this is a philosophy which was given to us by the followers of Shankaracharyas. Originally, it was been established by Shankaracharya. And what is the reason? Actually, to deviate people. And why he need to deviate people? That's why we need to read Shastra. When we go back retrospectively into our history, Shrimad Bhagavatam, when we look into even our world history, right, we can see, when we look into our Sajara, we can see there's a, initially, what is that? Agama Hindu, then Agama Hindu Buddha. Isn't it? You remember not? When we say about the earliest civilization, the very oldest religion, even in our history, it is Agama Hindu Buddha. Right? All these Sri Vijaya, Sri Vijaya empire, all these empires, all Hindu empires, right? So when we can see that at one point, after the Agama Hindu, the Agama Buddha, which means the Buddhist philosophy. The Buddhist philosophy was very dominant. So, and if you study this Buddhist philosophy, it is actually, their conclusion is atheism. They don't accept a God. They don't accept God. They don't accept Creator. Right? So their highest goal is to become nothing. Does it make sense? The highest goal of Buddhism is actually to achieve the state of nirvana. And what is nirvana? The state of nothingness. How can you achieve nothing, the state of nothingness? So you see, so actually this is the philosophy of Buddhism. It is quite complicated, quite illogical. So therefore, but this philosophy was very much pleasing to majority of the people, because you don't need to worship any you don't need to do any worship. There's no any you know rituals, there's no any rules and regulations. So basically this is the philosophy. But actually, even why this Buddhist philosophy is coming into the picture? Actually, if you see, even Lord Buddha is the incarnation of Krishna. So why Krishna is coming as Lord Buddha and giving such a incomplete philosophy, that nirvana, nothing? There is also a reason. The reason is, first, because in the name of religion, uh, especially the followers of Sanatana Dharma, they are engaging in animal killing, slaughtering, engaging in unregulated animal killing, not according to Shastra, animal sacrifice, just for sense gratification, becomes so dominant, so prevalent. All these Brahmanas, so-called Brahmanas, they misuse the Shastra and they propagate animal killing, meat eating. So therefore, as an emergency measure, Krishna have to come. He manifests, he expand. Actually, Lord Buddha is Shakti Avesha Avatar, empowered incarnation. So he came just to stop the animal killing, to save the animals, the innocent animals. Right. So therefore, he established the philosophy of ahimsa. That is why you see, until now, the Buddhists, they don't touch meat. The proper people who are following Buddhism, they don't touch meat. They don't even touch garlic, onion. It is a principle of ahimsa. No meat eating. Right. So actually, even the Buddhists, they have to follow the 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no illicit sex, no alcohol, no gambling. They have to follow, but they don't have the higher understanding than that, which is when come to the God understanding. Right? Is that clear? So this is the emergency measure to stop animal killing from the so-called followers of Sanatana Dharma, who misuse the Shastra to abuse the animal. So what happened? When this philosophy was propagated, the animal killing was stopped. So mission success. But what happened is, now the Hinduism, the Sanatana Dharma, the followers of Sanatana Dharma are now becoming, and there's no proper followers. Everyone is deviated. So Krishna says, he will come whenever there is a adharma. He will come and establish dharma shamshra panartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So therefore, next Krishna have to do something, because now our the proper followers of Sanatana Dharma are lacking. Everyone is deviating, and the philosophy of Lord Buddha, Buddhism, ahimsa, is now becoming popular. Many people are taking up Buddhism. That's why you see the history, Agama Hindu Buddha. That's why you see part of the India, still some of them are Buddhists. Sri Lanka, Buddhists. It was so prevalent that time. Right? So, but the problem, what is the problem with this teaching of Lord Buddha is that he doesn't give you the full teaching. Nirvana, nothing, the state of nothingness. Basically, is as good as atheism. Is as good as atheism, as good as impersonalism. They don't speak about God. So you're getting the point. You're following the history. So right now, what happened? Now Krishna have to take another measure to actually propagate Sanatana Dharma. And already the population are all having this Buddhist understanding, atheistic understanding. They cannot easily accept God. But they accept the no meat eating, they accept. The principles they accept. But the higher principle they cannot accept. So this is how things are going on. So therefore, Krishna instructed Adi Sankaracharya, who is none other than Lord Shiva. So therefore, Lord Shiva, he said, okay, I will go as you said, and I will do the job. And therefore, Lord Shiva, when he came as Adi Sankaracharya, he was a powerful person. He propagated Sanatana Dharma. He propagated the Shastra, the teaching of the Vedas. And that's why even until now, majority of the Hindus, they follow the path of, even until now it is intact, this part of impersonalism. And why impersonalism? Why Shankaracharya didn't give the full understanding? Because according to time, place and circumstances, the majority of the people are already on the level of atheism. So if you go to them and you say, here is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, is Satchit Ananda Vigraha, they cannot take up easily. If you go to the standard one and standard 2 primary school kids, and if you teach them additional mathematics, they might somehow run away from the class, give up everything. So therefore Shankaracharya have to come in and to teach them, introduce them, introduction to the Vedas. And he teach them the rituals, the importance of reciting Vedas, the establishing creator. Shankaracharya established creator, established God. But you see, these people, they cannot accept a form of personality of God. They cannot accept. So therefore, Shankaracharya have to propagate this deviating, incomplete philosophy, which is Advaita. Everything is equal, everything is same, everything is one. Is that clear? Yeah. So that is where after that we can see this Advaita philosophy was refuted by Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya is a powerful Vaishnava. This is his mudra. What is this meaning? I and Krishna are different. Dvaita. That's where he introduced the Dvaita philosophy and refuting the Advaita philosophy. Right? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. And who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? None other than Krishna. None other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And he gives us the perfect philosophy. Achintya Beda Beda. Right? So there are some similarities and also difference between the soul and God. Spirit, soul and Bhagavan. There are similarities and also difference. Simultaneous similarities and different. But it is also inconceivable. Inconceivable means you cannot understand fully this thing. So, achintya. So, this is the perfect, complete philosophy given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is where we are coming from, that sampradaya, Brahma Matva Gaudiya Sampradaya, which is ISKCON. Is that clear? So, ISKCON is not some sectarian movement. Sectarian na, இது ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா ஏதோ ஒரு குரூப்பு இவனுங்க அப்படிதான். It's not some group, some sect where we worship Krishna, but there are also some other sect which is acceptable. No. You see, ISKCON is coming from the lineage of Krishna himself, Krishna Brahma, Madhvacharya, and ultimately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada. This is ISKCON, Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. So the knowledge, whatever we are studying right now, is directly coming from Krishna. And it is going through all the Purva Acharyas. And it is coming through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself. And he is giving us the most perfect understanding how to worship God, how to understand God, how to go back to Godhead. So that is why this is perfect. So we are sitting here when listening to Bhagavad Gita as it is perfect. There are many Bhagavad Gitas, but it won't give you the proper understanding because the commentators are all coming from the Advaita philosophy. They will give you a deviating understanding, a wrong understanding, right? So this is the history why we have personalists and impersonalists. So you see, Arjuna, he knows this. He knows past, present, future. And for the well-being of all of us, he's asking this very important question that time, 5,000 years ago. Oh Krishna, which is the better worship? Which is the perfect worship? Is it the worship of Supreme Personality, or the worship of the formless aspect of you? And Krishna is giving a very clear answer. The most perfect is worshiping me as it is. as a supreme person, personality of Godhead. That's why Prabhupada used the word personality of Godhead. Personality of Godhead. That means, what's the meaning personality? That means he is a person. He has a personality. He is not some void object. He is not some light, Jyoti. No. This is the important point we have to understand. So if you go and ask the Jnana Yogi, that's why they are also called Jnana Yogis, the impersonalists. You know why? Because they only study the Vedas, but they don't understand the essence of the Shastra. So they study the Vedas and they say the highest is, formless. Even some, they will say, you can worship as whatever you wish, whatever you resonate. Have you heard about that? They are some other people who will very diplomatically, they will say, you're not wrong, I am not wrong. Whatever you resonate with, you can worship. You can worship as formless and form. There is no problem. No. There is a problem. Krishna is telling you there is a problem. Krishna is explaining here. The people who are taking up the worship of impersonalism is problematic, troublesome, will cause you misery, dukkha. So you don't speculate. We must not speculate and tell everything is same. This worship is same. No. In fact, our Shastra says you're going to hell. Shastra said you're going to hell if you think that God is formless. This is the understanding, because it's offense. When someone call you formless, is as good as calling you mundam. You know what is mundam? Mundam means you don't have form, no head. So if you're calling God mundam, don't you think it's offensive? You have a form, you have a character, you have a personality, you can reciprocate with everyone, but God doesn't have a character, doesn't have a personality, doesn't have a body, and he is called light, Brahma Jyoti. Offensive. So that is why Krishna is telling you it is problematic worship. And ultimately our acharyas are telling it will lead you to hell. So why you are taking this risk? So we must understand this clearly. We have people who are attending Bhagavad Gita class, attending daily Bhagavad Gita class, Bhagavatam class, but these things are not stressed. Can you count? You can see, in each of Srila Prabhupada purport, Prabhupada always use this word impersonalist, personalist, personality of Godhead. Prabhupada is giving us a clear understanding. But many are not preaching about it. Many don't even speak about this Brahman, Brahma Jyoti, impersonalism, Advaita, Dvaita. Krishna is speaking about it. Arjuna is speaking about it. Srila Prabhupada is speaking about it. Therefore, we should speak about it. We should understand it. We should realize it. We should practice. We should put into the practice. It is not just that you come here and know these things and then the next day you go back and go and worship the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. What do I mean by worshipping impersonal Brahma Jyoti? Yes, by going to any ordinary temples, we can see they are doing offense. What is offense? You can see if you go to any ordinary temple anywhere here, they will say what? Finally, after all the puja, Jodi 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 Swayam, Jodi 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 Param. Right? Isn't it? Kettukingala. So what is the meaning? What is the meaning? The meaning is Jodi Jodi Jodi. That is the highest. Everything is Jodi. Everything is light. I am light, you are light, everyone is light, everyone is one. What is this? Offense. You are calling the Lord formless, and you have a form, but the Lord must not have form. And our acharyas are telling, we are so degraded, we are so demonic that we want to become one with God. This is the understanding of the Advaita philosophy. You can become God. You can become God. This is as good as Ravana and Kamsa. Because Ravana and Kamsa had the same mentality. He wanted to become God. So what happened to them? Yes, smashed. So that will happen to the impersonalists because they want to become God. So actually, if you see, those characteristics of to become one with God, to become God is demonic. So all this tendency can be only seen in the demons, like Kamsa, Ravana, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. History is there, right? And we are doing the same thing. Oh no, Prabhu, everything is same, Prabhu. Everything, yes, our heart is important. மனசு தான் முக்கியம்பா, எல்லாமே ஒன்று தான்ப்பா. கிருஷ்ணா அப்படி சொல்லலையே, அர்ஜுனர் அப்படி சொல்லலையே, அப்படி புரிஞ்சுக்கலையே, ஆச்சரியர்கள் அப்படி சொல்லலையே. ஸோ நம்ம பகவத்கீதா கிளாஸில் உட்காந்துருந்தோம்னா முதல்ல நம்ம ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணணும். We have to apply this in our daily life. You have to preach about it. And not that you attend Bhagavad Gita class here and then same time you go and meditate upon light. There's a meditation of famous. Put a light in front of you, meditate. So where is your realization? Where is your knowledge? Offensive. If you are thinking God is light. Right? Remember, the moment I begin our discussion, what did I recite? Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. What is the meaning? You see, even in the Prabhupada Pranama mantra itself, it is there. Our acharyas have come here, have appeared to us, manifested to us, have come to all the way from the spiritual world just to give us this understanding that, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. First of all, you delete, remove, throw away the demonic tendency where you think God is formless. Shunyavadi, nothing. Nirvishesha, God is light. Nirvishesha is a philosophy of Buddhists. Nothing, nirvana. Nirvishesha means no quality. Nirguna. God doesn't have quality. How is that God? If it doesn't have any quality, then it is not God. God doesn't have any material quality. That is the meaning of nirguna. He is full of spiritual quality. That is saguna. Right? So nirvishesha shunyavadi paschatya desha tarini. So all of our acharyas have appeared here just to destroy these three things. Impersonalism, and also Western understanding. Atheism. So impersonalism and atheism. This is what Arjuna is destroying. This philosophy. And same, our Acharya is also destroying this philosophy. Because it is very offensive, it's very deviating, it's very demonic. Right? And right now it is present in front of us in many forms, many subtle things. When we go to temples, in the name of Sanatana Dharma, in the name of Hinduism, you are doing offense. So now we can see many people are taking up the yoga classes, which is good. They're taking up something. But you see, what is the understanding there? God has no form. Everything is same. You become God. That is your goal of yoga. Then you're gone. So this is the essence of this chapter actually. This is the essence of this shloka. Right? So that is why Prabhupada very nicely explained to us the Jnana Yogis, which means the impersonalists. They cannot understand these things. Only a devotee, the people who are practicing bhakti yogis, they can understand this. They can accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So, and even in Shastra, it is there that the worship of deity in the temple is Shaguna. Right? So, the Lord is represented by material qualities. So, it is not idol worship. So, you don't call a Archa Vigraha idol. Many of us use this term idol. Sala. Krishna Sala. Wrong. Adu Sala kadayadu. Sala means stone. Sala means idol. It is Archa Vigraha. It is deity. It is a representation of Krishna. Because when you establish a deity in the temple, you don't simply speculate something and put there. No. There is a process. There is a process called what? Yes. Prana Pratishta. Prana Pratishta. You are establishing, you are inviting the Lord and establishing him there. Prana Pratishta. So there is a process. It is explained in the Vedas, in the Shastras. The Brahmanas can do it. The Brahmanas know the process. So when we use these material ingredients such as wood, stone, and we follow the process in Shastra, not speculate, and we do the Prana Pratishtha and establish the Lord in the temple, it is a representation of Krishna, is none different than Krishna. Because from Krishna comes material energy. So when we use that material ingredients and follow the process, the science, and manipulate it, it becomes Artha Vigraha. So when we worship that, it is as good as Krishna, no difference. Right? So this is the understanding. It is given to us in our Shastra. So it is not that we simply create deity from our mind speculation. No, it is given in Shastra how are we going to picturize Krishna? What is the form of Krishna? What is the color, body color of Krishna? How does Krishna stand? What is the paraphernalia of Krishna? What is the paraphernalia of Vishnu? What is the form of Vishnu? What is the form of Brahma? So everything is there. So we have to follow the process. That is why we need to know Shastra. This is the Shastra. Shastra Vidya. So it is not that some speculation that we come up with these worships. No. As claimed by many other people. Even when people come and ask you, what are you all worshipping? Are you all worshipping stone idols? Why you are doing this? You cannot explain. So what do? You get angry. So that is not the way. First, we have to educate ourselves. You have to give us the knowledge. You have to gain the knowledge, right? And we have some other people who give the explanation that when people ask, why do you worship, such Archa Vigraha, they'll give the explanation. No, this is not God. This is just just a symbol. Just like someone, they'll give a very nice example. What example they'll give? This is just like a flag. You see the national Malaysian flag. So it is a symbol of our country. That's all. We respect that. Otherwise, it is not our country. Same thing. This is not our God. We just use it to help us to concentrate. Just as a medium. Very dangerous understanding. It is not explained in such a way by our acharyas. It's not explained in Shastra like this. Right? So this is the explanation by the Mayavada, the Mayavadis, the Advaitas, because they don't accept God in his full form. So what they do? They will do this explanation. And what we will do? We will take this explanation and we will tell to everyone. So this is the problem. The blind follow the blind. Isn't it clear? So the Archa Vigraha is not some symbol. It is not some, just like the flag. No, it is Krishna himself. It is Swayam Bhagavan. If you see in Sri Rangam, there is Swayambhu Murti. Swayambhu means self-manifested deity. Ranganatha Swami. Ranganatha Swami was worshipped by the Surya Vamsa, by the Sun dynasty. It is the dynasty of Lord Ram. Lord Ram himself worshipped Ranganath, and it is still there right now in Sri Rangam. This is deity worship, it is there. And the speciality is Ranganatha Swami is Swayambhu, self-manifested, not craft by anyone. So there are many Swayambhu deities also. So this is the process given in Shastra. So they are Krishna himself. And when we see painting, it is Krishna himself. So it is not some symbol, some mediator. No. Please don't give this type of explanation when people come and question you on these things. Right? That is why we are studying Bhagavad Gita. That is why we are listening every weekly. So this is the very basics ABC of the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. And repetitively, Prabhupada is establishing this. Even our proper pranama mantra is like that. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Desha Tarni, to deliver us from these bogus philosophies. Right? So we have to understand this. Right? So yeah, we'll continue. A crude example. See, Prabhupada is giving a very nice example. A crude example is given here. We may find some mailbox on the street, and if we post our letter in those boxes, they will naturally go to the destination without difficulties. But any old box or an imitation which we may find somewhere, but which is not authorized by the post office, will not do the work. Similarly, God has an authorized representation in the deity form, which is called Archa Vigraha. Archa Vigraha is an incarnation of Supreme Lord. God will accept service through that form. Lord is omnipotent, all powerful. Therefore, by his incarnation as Archa Vigraha, he can accept the services of the devotees just to make it convenient for the man in conditioned life. Yes. Prabhupada is giving a nice analogy here. Just like when you post a letter in an authorized post office or post box, it will reach the destination. But when you simply go and put in some unauthorized box, it doesn't reach the destination. So same, if you simply put some stone and worship under the tree, that is not deity, that is idolatry, that is idol worship, idolatry, right? That is worshipping stone. We don't worship idols. First of all, you must understand this: we don't worship idols, we worship Krishna himself. And what is the process? Through Archa Vigraha. The signs of establishing Archa Vigraha is explained in Shastra. So that is why Shastra is the topmost knowledge, because not everyone know that art, the science of establishing Bhagavan in Archa Vigraha. Right? So this is the thing, because Krishna is omnipotent. Right? He can come, he can reside in the deity, no problem. But there's also verses in Srimad Bhagavatam where when Krishna incarnate, it's the incarnation of Krishna. When Krishna incarnate in the deity form, Krishna will fully depend on our service. Krishna will fully depend on us. Right? So we have to take care of the deity. That's why Prabhupada said, to taking care of the deity means to like taking care of a child. You must dress them, you must feed them, you must wake them up, you must make them sleep. So in this way, we can have a bonding with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the process described in Shastra. Right? So therefore, Archa Vigraha, it is Krishna himself, incarnation of Supreme Lord. Right? So for devotee, there is no difficulty in approaching the Supreme immediately and directly. But for those who are following the impersonal way to spiritual realization, the path is difficult. Yes. So we can see Krishna, we can hear Krishna. Nama Nami Abhinatvam. Nama Nami Abhinatvam means simply the name of Krishna is non different than Krishna himself. So when we chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, none different than Krishna. It is as good as Archa Vigraha also, none different. So we can chant, we can see, we can utilize all our senses in the service of Krishna. This is the superiority of deity worship. We can do a special personal service to the deity. What does the impersonalist can do? They cannot do anything. They cannot worship. They cannot communicate. They cannot reciprocate. Right? Light. What you can do with light? Light, oh light, please, I want to offer you some boga. I want to offer you some fruit. Can you do that? Light. Nothing. If you are in difficulties, can you pray to Krishna? Like you see, Kunti Stuti prayers. There's Kunti Stuti, the prayers of Kunti Devi. She's begging Krishna. She's praying to Krishna. Right? So because Krishna is a supreme person, can you do that? Can you pray to light? Can we do that? No. So that means it's illogical to say God is formless. It's illogical to say God is light. That is the thing. It's the most basic thing. You don't need to study Shastra to understand this. It's the most basic thing that God has a form. Simple, right? So, and the more problem comes when they try to establish their deviated teaching. They try to establish their deviated understanding that God is impersonal by extracting the points from the Shastras, from the Upanishads, cherry picking certain verses and establishing God is impersonal. So this is the problem, right? That's why Krishna says their path is troublesome. They are also very less intelligent because they can't understand Krishna as it is. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vedaisha sarvair ahameva vidyo. So, of all the studies of scriptures, the goal is to know Krishna. Vedesha sarvair ahameva vidyo. So, this is the understanding. Krishna is the goal of Vedas. Vedeshu durlabha adurlabha atma bhaktao. Right? So, you cannot understand the Vedas. Vedeshu durlabha. Difficult. You will end up deviated like those impersonalists. You will end up deviated. But when you approach a devotee, adurlabha become easy. Because when you approach a Vaishnava, then you can understand who is Krishna. So this is the position of devotees. This is the position of Vaishnavas. This is the position. That is why we have to read Srila Prabhupada's book. Because he is a Vaishnava. He is a servant of Krishna. So by his mercy, we can understand Krishna. Vedeshu durlabha adurlabha atma bhaktau. Right? So this is the understanding. So a person in Krishna consciousness engaged in devotional service simply by the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, and not bogus spiritual master, right? Bona fide spiritual master. Yeah. So they are also bogus spiritual master, who is not coming from the proper sampradaya. I have spoken this previously in a different discussion. So they won't give you Krishna bhakti. So they will give you some so-called powerful motivational talk that they can do for temporarily make you happy, but they cannot give you bhakti. They can give you some temporary ash where you can buy from the Indian store in brickfields, right? They can give you that, but they cannot give you Krishna bhakti, right? So bona fide spiritual master means he will give you a tight slap and make you awake. Stop all this nonsense and go back to Krishna. This is bona fide spiritual master. Not that try to please you, smile, do some gestures, try to accept whatever you say. Yeah, you're right. Everything is right. Everyone is right. Everything is correct. No proper stand, no proper principle. So bona fide, that is bogus guru, right? So you have to judge. You have to judge yourself. Because Shastra teaches us to judge. Rupa Goswami, even in his, Nectar of Devotion, is teaching us how to discriminate, judge among the devotees. Who are the Kanishta Adhikaris, the beginners? Who are the Madhyamadhikari? Who are the Uttamadhikari? So that we can reciprocate accordingly and preach to them. If you don't discriminate, if you don't judge, then you cannot preach. Right? So therefore, we have to judge. So now people come and telling the bogus philosophy, don't judge. Everything is one. No. Even you are walking in the street, you are driving in the street, you have to judge. Yellow light, red light, green light. Right? So we should not engage in all this bogus philosophy. Do not judge. So this is bogus guru will give you bogus philosophy. Everything is one, everything is same. Don't hurt anyone. No. We are not hurting anyone. We are speaking the truth. Sometimes truth might be bitter. But truth is a truth. Fact is a fact. This is the philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnava. This is the mode of our acharyas. Right? So, simply by offering regulative obeisance unto the deity, simply by hearing the glories of the Lord, and simply by eating the remnants of foodstuff offered to the Lord, realizes the Supreme Person of God very easily. Yes. You can engage with the Lord by worshipping Archa Vigraha, by chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam. So there's no doubt that the impersonalists are unnecessarily taking a troublesome path with the risk of not realizing the absolute truth at the ultimate end. But the personalists, without any risk, trouble, or difficulties, approaches Supreme Personality directly. A similar passage appears in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is stated there that if one ultimately has to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this surrendering process is called bhakti. But instead takes the trouble to understand what is Brahman, what is not Brahman, and spends his whole life in that way, the result is simply troublesome. Therefore, it is advised here that one should not take up this troublesome path of self realization because there is uncertainty in the ultimate result. Right? So, don't take risk by going into there, going into here. No proper principles, no proper pathway. Everything is one. Today go to Hare Krishna, tomorrow go to that, this one, that, this one. Today is that, it, everything is same. No. Very simple. First, you have to discriminate what is right and what is wrong. This is the first lesson given to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. So we have to do that. So we must not be a hypocrite. You know what is hypocrite? So we don't have a stand. So we will listen Gita as it is. Yes, yes, Prabhupada is great. Prabhupada is Acharya. But whatever you're doing is against his teaching. So you'll accept everything as one. Everything is okay. No, no, no. This is not a teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is heavy. Guru means heavy. Right? So we have come here to wake up. Not to come and listen and satisfy our senses. No. Right? So this is the understanding. So the path of impersonalism, the path of Brahma, worshipping the Brahman, Brahma Jyoti, is risky, troublesome, dukkham, misery. Right? So a living entity is eternally an individual soul, and if he wants to merge into the spiritual whole, he may accomplish a realization of the eternal and knowledgeable aspect of his original nature, but the blissful portion is not realized. By the grace of some devotee, such a transcendentalist, highly learned in the process of Jnana Yoga, may come to the point of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. At that time, long practice in impersonalism also become a source of trouble because he cannot give up that idea. Therefore, an embodied soul is always in difficulties with the unmanifest, both at the time of practice and time of realization. Every living soul is particularly independent, and one should know for certain that this unmanifested realization is against the nature of his spiritual blissful self. One should not take up this process. For every individual living entity is a process of Krishna consciousness, which entails full engagement in devotional service is the best way. If one wants to ignore this devotional service, there is a danger of turning to atheism. Thus, the process of centering attention on the unmanifested, the inconceivable, which is beyond the approach of the senses, as already expressed in this verse, should never be encouraged at any time, especially in this age. It is not advised by Lord Krishna. Right? So here, Prabhupada is explaining to us, even if you follow properly the Jnana Yoga, the teaching of impersonalism, still you know what will happen is in one point you will fall down. The very very practical example I can give you is, you can take the personalities of the famous impersonalist who took up the teaching of this Advaita. Example, you can see example, Vallalar. Vallalar? Vallalar's teaching is based on Advaita. That's why you see when you go there, they worship light, right? And Vivekananda. So all these personalities, their philosophy is based on what? Impersonalism. And what happened to them? When they start preaching, they cannot preach anything beyond philanthropic activity. Their highest level is they will speak about Shastra, Veda, but when come to the practical ground, what they will do? They will give free food to everyone. Isn't it? They'll give free vegetarian food to everyone. They will say love everyone, serve everyone. Just give free food, free clothes, free shelter, free hospital. I'm just naming a few personalities. There are many other personalities in the name of Hinduism, but they don't speak about Krishna. They don't speak about the essence of Shastra, but they portray themselves as the great personalities of Sanatana Dharma. but they are misguided by the philosophy of impersonalism, this Advaita, and they will end up in these philanthropic activities. That's what Prabhupada is telling. Because you need some engagement. You cannot simply say, I want to become God, or you want to merge. When you merge, you lost your individuality. Is it clear now? You cannot merge with someone because you are eternally a individual person. Eternally a individual person. Mama eva amsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mama eva amsa. All this, all of us are actually Krishna's amsa, part and parcel. Mama eva amsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Eternal. Sanatana means eternal. So we are eternally individual, eternally existing. So you cannot go and merged, because when you merged, you lost your individuality. It can never happen, right? So that is why even if you can merge into Brahma Jyoti, you have to fall down. You have to come and take another body. Or even if you have, understood the process of Jnana Yoga, the impersonalism, and practice the teaching of impersonalism. Basically they also practice Shastra. They follow the four relative principles, but they don't worship Bhagavan. They don't do bhakti. They don't do devotional service. So this is the missing link. This is the missing thing. So what happened? They fall down. How they fall down? By engaging in such activities, philanthropic activities, giving food, giving free food, building hospitals, helping cancer patients. So I'm not telling this thing is bad. You see, I'm not telling this thing is bad. What I'm telling is, the better option, the perfect thing we can do for this helpless soul is by giving them Krishna consciousness. You are doing real charity. Correct or not? If you give someone money, if you give someone a food, temporarily it might solve the problem. You're just, patching it, just patch with some plaster the wound. But what is causing the wound? What is causing the fever? What is causing the pus? Infection. Which is you're taking repeated cycle of birth and death. The body you're getting repetitively. Kallagi, Puluvagi, Maramagi. In the Sivapuranam. Kallagi, Puruvagi, Maramagi. In the Maria, Pambagi, Manidanagi, Gadangalagi, Peyagi, and the Mari Paravayagi. So you're repeatedly taking body. So you will get hungry. You will get hungry in each body. So what are you going to do now? So that is why our acharyas are telling you give them Krishna Bhakti. So therefore you no need to become repeated cycles of birth and death. No more body, no more material body. No more hunger, no more poverty, no more disease. No more Janma Mrityur Jara Vyadi. So that is the real charity. That is the real philanthropic activity. This is our aim. This is the mood of our acharyas. Not that we simply go to the lower understanding and giving free food and free hospitality, free cancer. There are many people who can do that. Our governments are doing that. Our government, our doctors, our cancer society, our NGOs. So don't go and do all this business. Our business is to save all conditioned soul, to save all this, save these people from Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. That is a real root problem. Is that clear or not? Not simply patchwork, temporary patchwork, So that is why Prabhupada is telling you. So when you are understanding this Advaita philosophy or impersonalism, you got no engagement. Because you don't accept Krishna, you don't accept God, you don't accept him as a personality of Godhead. So what you will do? You will serve the people. And then you'll come up with a quotes like Madhavan Sevai, Manavan Sevai. Have you heard about that? Madhavan Sevai, Manavan Apdina, something like that. Apdina, when you serve God, when you serve the human beings, is equal to serving Madhava, God. Bogus understanding, nonsense understanding. Serving other human being is not equivalent to serving God, right? So this is the problem with Advaita, because everything is same. So you are God, I am God. So if you serve the dog, if you feed a dog, is as good as serving God. Right? So this is the problem. We got no discrimination, no understanding. Yeah. So that is why, of course, our intention is to do charity, to give the best to the people. So what is the best to the people? As I said, to give them Krishna consciousness, to preach to them the real knowledge, Atmajnana, and to teach them what is the problematic way, pathway, Advaita, impersonalism, the bogus understanding. This is Vaishnava. This is the duty of Vaishnava. This is what our acharyas have been teaching us, begging us to do. First of all, get the knowledge, discriminate what is right and what is wrong. Then you can understand Krishna. You cannot understand Krishna without discrimination. First, you have to have discriminating ability. That is intelligent. Not that everything is same. No, that is Advaita. Everything is not same. Right? We respect everyone. We love everyone. In fact, when we study Bhagavad Gita and when we preach to everyone, that is the greatest love. That is the greatest respect you can give. There's no any higher things than this. So don't go for the lower things, like simply giving some food. Give them prasadam. Right? Give them Bhagavad Gita. Give them Krishna. Teach them how to discriminate. This is the greatest charity you can do. So last but not least, this is what Krishna says. Whatever I'm spoken here is simply the essence of what Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. Whatever acharyas are speaking to us. Right? So first of all, have some discriminating ability. Don't think everything is same. Sanatana Dharma is not cheap. Krishna consciousness is not cheap. Krishna is not cheap. Bhagavad Gita is not cheap. Don't speculate. Listen from the proper authority. If you don't know, ask. Right? So this is the thing. So ultimately, Krishna is establishing Bhakti Yoga, worshipping the Satchit Ananda Vigraha. The full form of Krishna is the most perfect worship, most perfect understanding. Right? So I will stop here. It's already 15 minutes delay. So yeah. Is there any questions, comments, or any sharings? Okay. So I assume everything is good. No questions. So Saras Mataji, Kanchana Mataji, everything good?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, very nice. So we will meet again next week. I hope everyone is clear on this, because this is very important, extremely important. This is the basics, right? So I have to be little bit, little bit aggressive, little bit stern. Then we can understand these things. Otherwise, we think this is something cheap, right? So please think about this. Please don't stop here. Go back and go through the purport. Go through the chapter 12 shlokas, translation. Please think what you have done wrong, how you can correct it, where you are doing the, where we need to be improved. Please do that. Right? This is our goal in Krishna consciousness. We are practicing Krishna consciousness. That is why practicing. Practicing means we have to improve. Practice makes perfect. So our goal is to become perfect. So therefore we are practicing, but we must practice the right thing. Then we become perfect. If you practice the wrong thing, if you have so much of speculation, you don't have the discriminating ability, you don't accept Guru Sadhu Shastra, and you accept something else, then you, no matter how much you practice, you're practicing the bogus thing, and you won't come to the proper understanding of Krishna consciousness. So this is a very important thing. So please practice the proper thing, then you can become perfect. Right? So everything is there in Srila Prabhupada's books. So any doubts, any future question, any further questions, can always drop me a message. You can drop Prabhu Patitarana Prabhu message. We can always get connected, right? So, and we can always, even if you feel this is too advanced, Prabhu, I want to know from the basic. Yeah, we are very happy to serve you. We can start from the beginning. We can give you the summary of the basics. If you have any other questions, we can do that. We can help you. We are ready to serve you, right? So ultimately, we want you to understand the proper understanding, the perfect understanding of Krishna consciousness, right? So thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Bol.